I just put a candle or I burned something and now my eyes are all wet. Something is going in. I gave myself time, but it's not going. So hello everyone. How are you? I had gotten more questions, but the people are less. Let's see if they join in between. And I will be recording this. So there have been a lot of questions on what is regression therapy? Why do we do it? I thought let's do it here. Let's talk about it here. And see, I'm talking and I've not put on the earphones. Hello? Yeah. Am I audible? ठीक है, ठीक है,
Hi,
ठीक है.
Himadri.
Hi. Yes. So I intentionally kept this live on Zoom so that people can ask me questions and it could be an interactive session. I knowingly did not keep it on Instagram live because then it gets really difficult for people to come up and ask questions. Either they have to come on the audio, come on the video, and then show up. So, for that purpose. I thought let's introduce something, let's speak something about uh, something that so many people have doubts in. Uh, how does this work? How does working, taking sessions, how that statement, right, that we say, the deeper you have gone with yourself or the kind of work that you have done with yourself is going to help you when you are with your client. So understand that there's something about nervous system. I will not go into many scientific logic, very into detail, but I'll try to give you a gist of things that are important, जो आपको समझ में आए और जो हम यूज करेंगे, ठीक है? ये जो हमारा नर्वस सिस्टम है, इट इज लाइक दैट कॉम्प्लेक्स नेटवर्क ऑफ नर्व एंड सेल्स जो हमारे ब्रेन से स्पाइन में जाती हैं और पूरी बॉडी हमारी उससे चल रही है, ठीक है? नाउ देर आर टू काइंड ऑफ नर्वस सिस्टम. एक है आपका सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम और एक है आपका ऑटोनॉमस नर्वस सिस्टम. सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम मतलब ब्रेन और स्पाइनल कॉर्ड के साथ जो भी होता है वो आपका सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम हैंडल कर रहा है. और जो आपका ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम है वो है आपका रेस्ट, डाइजेस्ट, स्लीप, ये जो आप सो के उठते हो, फाइट एंड फ्लाइट, जिसमें डिफरेंट मोड्स जो हम बात करते हैं ना आजकल हर एक पोस्ट में जो आ रहा है कि ट्रॉमा है, बॉडी फ्रीज हो गई है और फाइट एंड फ्लाइट हो रहा है. तो ये जो ऑटोनॉमिक नर्वस सिस्टम है ना, उसकी दो ऐसे ब्रांचेस होती हैं. एक होगा आपका पैरासिम्पैथेटिक, एक होगा आपका सिंपैथेटिक, ठीक है? सिंपैथेटिक मतलब फाइट और फ्लाइट मोड, जिसमें मान लो सामने आपके कोई डेंजर आया, ठीक है, कुछ जानवर भागते हैं, दे आर रनिंग अवे, तो वो उनका फाइट और फ्लाइट सिस्टम एक्टिवेटेड रहता है. दो गाय या दो सांड ऐसे सींग लड़ाते हैं, ओके, दैट इज फाइट एंड फ्लाइट. बट एट द सेम टाइम कुछ होते हैं जो फ्रीज हो जाते हैं, जैसे आई थिंक बेयर और समथिंग, या भालू, जिसके सामने इफ देर इज डेंजर दे काइंड ऑफ फ्रीज. और मे बी pigeon. Have you ever seen when a danger comes, when a cat comes near a pigeon, it closes its eyes and stands like this. कि मैं फ्रीज हो गया हूं, मैंने अपनी आंखें बंद कर ली हैं, अब जो होगा देखा जाएगा. सो ये हमारे सर्वाइवल इंस्टिंक्ट्स हैं, ये हमारे मैमेलियन ब्रेन से आता है, ठीक है? ब्रेन में आपके तीन, एक है फ्रंटल, ये हो गया आपका प्री फ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स, ठीक है? जो भी चीजों में लॉजिक आता है, सेंस आता है, क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, वो सब यहाँ से आता है. ये हो गया आपका मिडिल ब्रेन. यहाँ पे इट इज गिविंग यू साइंस कि भाई डेंजर है कुछ करो, डेंजर है कुछ करो. एंड ये जो पीछे वाला ब्रेन है, इसका काम होता है, ये सर्वाइवल करता है, फ्रीज करना है, फाइट करना है, क्या करना है. सो दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स. पर प्रॉब्लम कब आती है? जब हम किसी एक स्टेट में रह जाते हैं. सामने शेर आया, शेर के सामने देयर वाज अ डियर, ठीक है? डियर फ्रीज हो गया, अब शेर चला गया, तो ऑटोमेटिक क्या होता है कि अब शेर चला गया, सब कुछ नॉर्मल हो जाना चाहिए, सब कुछ वापस आ जाना चाहिए. बट जब वो चीज वापस नहीं आ पाती है, या कई बार 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 वैसा हो रहा है और बार बार जो डियर है वो फ्रीज होता जा रहा है, it is getting stuck, it is not able to move, it is not able to come out of it. So इसको हम ट्रॉमा कहते हैं। anything which is happening for too long, too many times and too often is trauma. It could be anything. कोई भी चीज एक बार हुई वो नहीं होगा, बट कोई भी चीज छोटी भी अगर बार बार होती जा रही है जिससे आपकी बॉडी में कुछ हो रहा है, एनी काइंड ऑफ रिएक्शन इज हैपनिंग। ट्रॉमा जो हो रहा है वो सामने नहीं है, ट्रॉमा वो है जो आपकी बॉडी में आ रहा है, जो आपकी बॉडी में हो रहा है, एंड देन हाउ आर यू रिएक्टिंग टू इट। तो उससे हमें बाहर आना है। बाहर आने के तरीके होते हैं, तो कहते हैं मूवमेंट होना चाहिए, ब्रीदिंग होना चाहिए, बहुत कुछ होना चाहिए। बट कई बार हमारा, अब एक बार डेंजर हुआ, ठीक है, एक बार वी फेल्ट समथिंग इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस एंड नाउ वी आर स्कैर्ड ऑफ इट। हमारे माइंड ने, दिमाग ने एक चीज बना ली कि ऐसा हुआ था तो हमने ऐसा किया था। सो अब ये चीजें मत करना हिमाद्री, ये चीजें करोगे तो ऐसा हो जाएगा। तो एक तरह का वाईफाई सिग्नल हमेशा चल रहा है। मैं जब इस कॉल में बैठी हूँ तो आप लोग मुझे देख रहे हो, यू आर ऑल लुकिंग इन माई आईज, यू आर लुकिंग एट दैट पिक्चर बिहाइंड मी, यू आर लुकिंग एट दोज बुक्स बिहाइंड मी, द फ्लावर बिहाइंड मी, द कैंडल बिहाइंड मी। यू आर ट्राइंग टू रेगुलेट योर सेल्फ। ठीक है, ये को रेगुलेशन हो रहा है। जब भी आप एक ट्रेन थेरेपिस्ट के साथ बैठते हो तो दैट रेगुलेशन स्टार्ट्स हैपनिंग। आप मेरी आंखों में देखोगे, आप मेरी बॉडी में देखोगे, अगर मेरी बॉडी बहुत जंपी है, बहुत नर्वस है, कहीं ना कहीं आपको वो सेंस हो जाएगा। तो ये जो सेंस है ना, ये न्यूरोसेप्शन होता है हमारे इनसाइड और हमारे आउटसाइड। एंड ये दोनों चीजें कॉन्स्टेंटली होती रहती हैं, दीज थिंग्स कीप हैपनिंग बिकॉज दैट इज हाउ वी आर सेंसिंग द डेंजर। अ लिटिल बॉय, अ लिटिल चाइल्ड इज ऑलवेज सेंसिंग around people or around their mother. Is it safe? Is it okay? Is it okay if I ask for something? Is it okay if I ask for food right now? My mother is really busy. Or is it okay if I can ask for food right now because my mother uh, खाना वगैरह हो गया है एंड नाउ इट इज नाइट टाइम और किचन अब बंद करके चली गई है। अब मैं बोलूंगा तो क्या होगा? लास्ट टाइम जब मैंने बोला था तो मुझे बहुत डांट पड़ी थी, तो चलो कोई नहीं, मैं भूखे ही सो जाता हूँ, चलो कोई नहीं, मैं नहीं बोलूंगा। This is how you learn to cope up, right? It is not a major example, but I'm just sharing an example that this is how we, interpret the safety. What is it? What is right? What can we say? What can we not say based on our previous experiences? तो हमारा perception change होता है. So trauma changes your perception. And now imagine you are sitting with something in you which is happening like this, and samne wala, maybe your client, says something similar. What is going to happen? At that moment, if you have not worked on that trauma, if at that moment आप इतने अवेयर नहीं हो कि आप अपने अंदर के इनर चाइल्ड को, अपने अंदर के इनर पेरेंट को और एक एडल्ट को नहीं समझ पाओ, तो यू वोंट बी एबल टू हैंडल व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू। एकदम से फ्रीज हो जाओगे, एकदम से ऐसे हो जाओगे कि अरे यार ये क्या पूछ लिया, ये तो मुझे नहीं आता। सपोज वी आर सिटिंग इन अ ग्रुप सिटिंग, राइट, एंड द पर्सन एंड द people who are sitting in front of me, they ask me a question, and suddenly the moment they ask a question, I have a choice. I can explain in either way that I want to, or if it is completely difficult, I can tell them that I will work with you one to one and then I'll answer you this, or I can say that ये मुझे नहीं पता इस बारे में, मैं पढ़ के बताऊंगी। बट ये तीन डिसीजन एक रेगुलेटेड पर्सन ले सकता है, एक एडल्ट रेगुलेटेड पर्सन ले सकता है। सपोज किसी ने मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछा और मेरे अंदर ये थॉट आया, अरे यार ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, इसने तो मुझसे ये क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया, अब इसे पता चल जाएगा कि मुझे कुछ नहीं आता है। पिछली बार जब ऐसा हुआ था ना तो मैं आंसर नहीं दे पाई थी और फिर लोगों ने मेरे बारे में बहुत सारी बातें की थी। all of that is happening in your middle brain. एंड जितना यहाँ पे एक्टिविटी जारी है ना, ये आपका बंद हो रहा है, ये आपका बंद हो जाएगा तो आप उस मोमेंट पे एक्ट कैसे करोगे? एक्ट नहीं कर पाओगे। So that is why we work on ourselves. That is why we try to become as regulated as we are, so that when we are sitting in front of our clients, we are able to co-regulate. We are able to offer them the space. We are able to hold that space for them. Now, इस topic से we smoothly get into another topic. What is regression therapy? Whenever uh, let's not complicate it so much. If I ask everybody right now कि आज नहीं, कल रात क्या खाया था, कल रात डिनर में क्या किया था, सो आप लोग सोचने लगोगे अच्छा कल क्या किया था, व्हाट वाज आई हैविंग इन द डिनर, रोटी थी, राइस था. इफ यू वर विद योर फ्रेंड्स और इफ यू वर विद द फैमिली, कोई स्पेशल था, तो आप उस चीज को याद करोगे. आप उन लोगों को याद करोगे किनके साथ बैठे थे, क्या हो रहा था. अगर आप बाहर गए थे, अगर आप मॉल गए थे, तो मॉल में कोई जैसे कई बार मॉल में घुसते हैं ना, एक मॉल की खुशबू आती है, वो खुशबू कौन सी थी. You might smile because of that happy experience. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable. तो वो स्माइल किया तो बॉडी में हैप्पीनेस, एक अच्छी एक फीलिंग आई. स्माइल वो एक डिफिकल्ट एग्जाम्पल था, एक्सपीरियंस था, उसके बाद मान लो पेट खराब हो गया या कुछ खराब लगा, तो उस स्मेल से आपकी बॉडी में एक अजीब सा एक इरिटेशन आया. ये सारी चीजें चल रही हैं, ये सारी चीजें आप याद कर पा रहे हो, एंड एट द सेम टाइम आप मुझे सुन भी रहे हो. तो कई बार लोग बोलते हैं कि क्या हमें आप व्हाट डू वी से इट, हिप्नोटाइज करोगे क्या, हिप्नोटिज्म सीखेंगे क्या. इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. हिप्नोटिज्म की जरूरत नहीं होती है. Person can already, right now also, when you are thinking and you are listening to me, you're already regressing. You are already, those moments are coming up in your head. What was I doing? What was I having? Was there any special moment? Was there any special thing discussed? And um, that is how regression happens. Now, this was a happy, okay memory, but if it was a very difficult memory for someone, God forbid, but if yesterday night something bad happened, maybe you were on a road and you saw an accident, you saw a fire happening. If something is of that kind, your body is going to have different reactions at this moment. आपकी बॉडी में डिफरेंट रिएक्शन आएंगे, एंड वो जो डिफरेंट रिएक्शंस आ रहे हैं वो भी आप रिग्रेस कर रहे हो. एंड इफ दिस वाज नॉट द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट इट वाज हैपनिंग, अगर ये रिएक्शन, इस टाइप का कोई इंसिडेंस पहले भी हुआ है, सपोज अ चाइल्ड, मैं एक बच्चे से पूछ रही हूँ और कल रात डिनर में उसके पेरेंट्स फाइट कर रहे थे, राइट. He will go back to those memories that they were fighting and I don't feel good. How does that make you feel? क्या लगता है, क्या होता है? And then he keeps remembering that ऐसा एक बार नहीं होता है, ऐसा तो कई बार होता है. And then they keep going back and back till till they reach their first time something like that was happening. And उसमें क्या हुआ था. तो आप क्या करते हो. मेरे पेरेंट्स जब भी लड़ाई करते हैं तो मैं छुप जाता हूँ, मैं चुप हो जाता हूँ, मैं पढ़ाई करने लग जाता हूँ. For a statement like, I just want to keep working. Sometimes people say that you need to rest, but I just cannot rest. Okay, why cannot you rest? What is the worst thing that is going to happen if you don't rest? I might hear something. Okay, what will you hear? And that is the moment. What will you hear? I will hear somebody fight. Who is that somebody that you're hearing fighting? These are the questions that we ask in a regression therapy. These are the questions that help our client regress back to those memories, to those incidents. And we are trained to ask certain questions and hold that space for them. कई बार जो past है, right, that memory could be of abuse as well. And then it is very difficult. So आप क्या बोल सकते हो, आप कैसे कर सकते हो, how can you handle that situation? आपका purpose क्या है? Your purpose is to help client process the emotion. Process the emotion मतलब जब सामने शेर आया था तो जो डियर था, जो अटक गया था, उसके अंदर क्या हुआ, उसको प्रोसेस करना है कि क्या हो रहा था. एक बार वो फिर से फील करके जब उसको प्रोसेस करेगा, देन दैट डियर विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू नो दैट वाज देन एंड दिस इज नाउ. That is something that had happened with me in past, and it is something uh, it is something similar, but it is not the same thing. Okay, I just remember that song, same same but different. It is same but it is different at the same time. And when two things are happening, like you are listening to me right now and at the same time you're regressing back, आपको पुरानी चीजें भी आ रही हैं, आप उसको भी प्रोसेस कर रहे हो, राइट? दिस इज what our consciousness can be at two level at the same time, at two places at the same time. इसको elliptical consciousness कहते हैं. इसके बारे में जब साइंटिस्ट ने पढ़ा तो it was divided consciousness. When famous hypnotherapist read about it, it was divided consciousness. And this is the logic. This is that one single line of logic that we use when we are working on the past lives. So I think Carl Jung had mentioned that there is consciousness and there is a lot of things which are in the collective unconsciousness. So जब भी कोई अपनी past life देखता है, they connect to that collective unconsciousness और उसमें से अपनी वो memories लेकर they work on it. Imagine there is one example that I tell always. Chit, Chetan, and Chaitanya. This is Chit, then our awareness, then our consciousness is Chetan, and then the collective consciousness that I am wala feeling, that is Chaitanya. So there are different layers to the human body. There are different auras. There are different layers that we study. So we connect our purpose when we find a past life, right? When we find something that has been missing. It's a very important question that we ask whenever we are doing a past life therapy. What were your dying thoughts? That's a very important question that we ask. What were your dying thoughts? When an individual, right? When that individual died, and they're dying, even if they had a very beautiful life, but their dying thought was, um, I will never be rich. They were rich, they had everything, but somehow they did not have family love. And they died with this thought that I will never be rich. I will never be rich. And then then that soul fragment moves to their higher self. And there is something called as life between life. I look at it like, how do I say that space in between. You are not here, and you get that time and space to look at your life and then decide what is it that you want to work on. So that soul fragment with that thought that I should have had, what was the thought that I could not have? I should not be rich. Now that they have to somehow that statement stays in their consciousness. And then when they are coming down again, they maybe find parents who are helping them live this life, this kind of life, to fulfill this. We all are part of that one soul, right? And we are that one, but we're also different. If through an example I explain, suppose there is a river in front of your house and you go fill up your bucket every day. So you go there, you fill up your bucket, you come back and take bath. Next day you again go fill up the bucket and take bath. The two kind of water, it is same, but it's also different. It is coming from that same source, but every day the molecules, that something in the water might have changed. because of the day, because of the weather, because of anything, whatever would have happened. So we are coming from there. We are same, but we are again different in our own ways. And when we die, we go back and merge into that consciousness. And then we have those different lives, we have different learnings, we decide, we take birth and then come again. There are different kind of past lives. And, there is a hangover past life, there is karmic past life. All those people who are sitting here who intend to become healers or therapists, they might have had a karmic life before. They might have lived and seen their karmas, and this life, they are living a dharmic life. They are living, karma is what they have done, and this is what they are doing right now. Uh, there is uh, there is hangover past lives. Hangover past life is um, when somebody who had a very difficult life, uh, in a way that they almost died at 13, but their actual death happened at 80. So from 13 to 80, there was a lot that happened, right? But they were just surviving, not living or not thriving. That is a hangover life. Anytime your clients come to you and tell that we are very lost, I'm a very lost soul, I'm a very lost soul, or not lost, lost is something else. When people say, you know, काम करते हैं, help होती है, we do the sessions and it really helps us, but कोई चीज है जो हमेशा खाली ही रहती है. No matter what we have done so much of work, but something stays very unfulfilled, very hurtful, very sad. That means they might had a hangover life. Sometimes uh, people or souls, they leave the past body, and if it is sudden, if it is like a bomb, right? Uh, yeah, who's messaging me? Someone messaging from no. So what was I saying? Yeah, if somebody died out of in a क्या कहते हैं उसको, in a लड़ाई, in a fight, there was a bomb. That way, soul somehow did not was not ready, and it left that body and straight away jumped to some other body. जब ऐसा होता है, then there are people who say I am very lost. मैं तो हमेशा लॉस्ट रहता हूँ, मुझे तो बिल्कुल समझ नहीं आता मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, ये भी करूँ वो करूँ, मुझे नहीं पता, आई एम जस्ट लॉस्ट. So when you start working with people, right, you understand, you see that, okay, you're working with someone for so long, you've done so many sessions, maybe this is something that will click. It's like, it's a very detective kind of work where you have to keep following the client and see where is the client taking you. कई बार जब मेरे साथ ऐसा होता था कि सेशन जब हो रहा है पास्ट लाइफ, मेरे क्लाइंट को क्या दिख रहा था, मुझे दिखता था. तो मुझे दिखने लगता था कि मेरा क्लाइंट क्या देख रहा है. Sometimes just before they would say that, Himadri, now I'm standing in front of a garden, I would already see that they are standing in front of garden. So I would just follow them. Where are they going? What is happening? In this entire work, we are guiding them. We are guiding them towards themselves. We are guiding them to find what is it that they want to learn? What is it they want to um, do? What is it that they want to feel that they have not been feeling all this while? That little kid, जिसका example दिया, that parents would fight. Maybe that child was feeling anger. Maybe that child was feeling anger. Maybe that child was feeling disgust against parents. But the child was not speaking about it. That child did not even know that these are the things that he's feeling. When he comes to therapy, he starts doing the session, he understands that, okay, this is something that I was feeling. And it might come as a shock to the child. It might come as a uh, very deeply saddening experience that my parents were fighting, and I feel so disgusting about them. Why do they do it all the time? If there is, uh, physical hitting or hitting abuse in families, children grow up to be very parentified. Parentified means when, um, suppose a father has been hitting the mother, but mother would keep on taking the hit and not to do or say anything about it, and and shares all this pain with the child. So the child, they don't deserve to see all this or listen to all this, or the child does not deserve to save her mother. The mother, as an adult, needs to take a step and do something about it. And now imagine that mother coming from her own set of traumas. Is she being the adult at that moment, or she is thinking that, if I say something, if I hold the hand of my husband, um, he might leave me, he might do something, and it's not right it's not good, or that thought that it's not good to stay away from your husband. Where is that thought coming from, that in that female's mind? Maybe she might have been raised in a family where she might be have told that, you always need to have a man with you, you always need to be with a man, otherwise you cannot survive. So when you find the client, when the client comes up to you, they might put up a very simple line, a statement that, I have read so many books, I know about nervous system, I know about somatic healing, and I truly feel that, I need to rest more. I have seen that post by, I think Nora Jane Hobbs or someone, Nicole. I have seen that post, and in that post, it was written that she has never seen any restful female. And now I understand I need to rest more. But I don't know, no matter what I do, I've studied so much, I'm still not able to rest. So, this is what the client is speaking. This is what the client is saying. This is the presenting problem. However, there are so many things going on behind it. So, why do you think you want to rest? What exactly is happening? What happens when you try to rest? They may tell, whenever I try to rest something, I feel very uncomfortable in my body. So, you locate that. Okay, what is this kind of discomfort? What truly is it? They might say that, um, I feel very heavy. Okay, you feel very heavy. Locate this heaviness in your body. Where is it? Give it a shape, size, and color. If it could look, what would it look like? And then they tell you. So these questions, when you're asking these questions, you are telling your client that you are not heavy. There is a part in your body that feels heavy. What that part is carrying. Now, if you ask that, if it had a voice, what would it tell you? And they might say that, you don't deserve this. Okay. How old are you when you are told that you don't deserve this? That's how the client straight away goes to that inner child moment. Sometimes they might not be able, they might tell you that, I'm imagining all this. I don't even know if it exists. So you hold that space. You help the client, you help that person in front of you understand what exactly is happening. Sometimes um, in the session, people realize, oh, this was happening with me. Suppose in a abuse situation, in a sexual abuse situation, the client, they don't even know. They're just saying that I feel very confused. Okay, why do you feel confused? What is it? Anytime somebody, tells me, I feel very confused. I really cannot decide something very well. Okay, where is this confusion? How does that make you feel? And while you're asking, you tell them that when was the first time you felt as a child this confused? And they tell you, I don't know why, but the 6-year-old girl is coming to me. Okay, go ahead. What is the 6-year-old doing? And they tell you that 6-year-old, she feels very confused. Okay, why is she confused? And they tell you that, I don't know, I am just lying down, but I'm feeling confused. And you hold that space. You keep questioning, you keep telling them that they are safe. they can express, and at that moment they are processing so many things which are coming up. At an instant they might come up with this feeling, with this realization that, oh, my uncle was sleeping beside me and he was touching me. I don't know. And that is a moment they kind of get very shocked. And it's been 30 years. They have not connected with this part. They don't. So it might have been, um, 30 years. They have not connected with this part. They've not connected with this part where that little 6-year-old was getting abused and she did not know about it. Now imagine the kind of energy that was used all this while in suppressing that. To that client, there is always a voice. You don't listen to this. Don't go there. Don't listen to this. Don't, breathe into that body. It's easier to stay confused. It's those, so that confusion, right? That confusion was saving that child, that 6-year-old child, from so much of pain, from so much of uh, scary memories. Somebody coming to you and telling you that, listen, I really, really, really try hard to diet, but I'm never able to. Okay, what happens when you are dieting? You tell them, they say, no matter what people say, I still fail to take my food, do the basics that I've been asked to. What happens truly? What do you feel? Um, I feel irritated. Okay, so you feel irritated. What else do you feel? I feel irritated. I feel angry, and then I eat something. So that part, right, who is eating something, that is not the adult who's eating something. That is something else. That is the coping mechanism. You keep going further and you find out again a very difficult traumatic incident. Could be abuse, could be, um, you know, physical, being hit, being thrashed, or when you are raised in a family where you are constantly compared, you are constantly not given voice to speak and come up. How do you handle that irritation? What is the way to handle that irritation for a 6, 7, 5, 10 years old? When I'm that irritated, I don't have anybody else. Once I had bread butter with namkeen, and that made me feel very good. So that food, that eating food, this client connects to as safety, connects to feeling fine. And when that person comes to therapy, you don't work with this person, this inner parent or adaptive self who is finding ease when they are eating. You connect, you help this client, you help this person connect with that wounded part, with that little girl who was feeling irritated, who was feeling angry, who was feeling pissed off. And the best way to do this is through regression therapy. It is the safest that I have seen. It is the safest that I have experienced. And I've experienced, connected with so many of my past lives, so many of my inner child, with my clients' inner child, clients' past life. It's beautiful. It's beautiful how so simply and so easily regression happens. Even right now, when I'm talking to all of you, everyone, whoever is listening, is going back to their memories in their head. They are connecting bits and pieces and parts of themselves. So even just imagine you're just listening to me and you're connecting to those parts. If I sit in a session one to one, how many of, like, how much of your bits and pieces and memories you're going to collect and bring back to yourself? When something traumatic happens, right? In order to save, in order to survive, you don't ask very technical questions, but if you just uh, try to understand when there was this trauma happening, when there was this situation happening, how did you react? What happened? Somebody might say that, I was shocked. Okay, you were shocked. When you were shocked, what truly happened in your body? So each of the questions, right, they are very somatic. Somatic is a very loosely term these days. Somatic, trauma, nervous system. Simple meaning somatic ka hai बॉडी सेंट्रिक, सोमा, बॉडी, बॉडी में क्या हुआ, आपको जब शॉक लगा तो आपकी बॉडी में क्या हुआ। मुझे ना ऐसा फील हुआ जैसे कुछ ना, and then the moment the client is saying, they might do like this is somatic, this is what you are looking at, in front of your laptop, that okay, the body is constricting. So ये जो constriction हुआ वो कहाँ हुआ, they might say something that I don't know why मुझे ना lower back में ऐसा feel होता है। Okay, क्या हुआ lower back में? You kind of take the client, you gently guide the client to go to that part in the lower back and ask, how does it make you feel? What is happening? Describe, क्या है वहां पे, क्या stored है? And there might be a statement, very simple statement that comes up as बाहर मत आना. Okay. So when you listen to this statement, you again ask, क्या होता है जब आप बाहर आते हो? What happens when you come out? Client may say, I don't know. What might happen if you come out? And that is how you are going to gently guide your client towards feeling something they have not been feeling all this while, something they have been pushing away, something they have been pushing deep down in their body. And that is when you connect. And you do not have to think that, this is going to give the resolution, that therapy is going to bring out. You just have to make the client aware of these little inner moments that is happening with them. Those very little tiny moments, something shift, some awareness. Okay, did I disconnect or something? No. Yeah. I think that's all. That's all I wanted to say. I can keep talking, I can keep speaking, I can keep um, speaking about regression therapy, about everything. We would be talking about all of it just like this in more details in our training course that starts 6 July. I still need to decide if I'm starting it on 6 July or I'm starting it on 13. I am giving myself time. I will finalize that in 2 days. Till now, it is 90% there on 6 July. That is the first Saturday. We'll be meeting every Saturday, 12 p.m. For 2 hours. The session will be online. It will be recorded. I will be sharing the recording. But as you see, I do not create a lot of PPTs. I do not have very strict steps. All the teaching will be like this. Steps will be needed only when I will be demonstrating the video, demonstrating the session, and I would be telling you, giving you that structure. That will be the step part. Otherwise, this is how I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain with lots and lots of live experiences, live examples that I have learned, I have gone through, even my stories, what helped, what did not help. Very important these days, how to maintain boundaries, how to create better boundaries with your clients, with people on group. How do you set up a session? You might need some kind of grounding before the session. What I mean by grounding is becoming your adult self before the session, being this person, being the regulated adult who is sitting in the session so that they are able to co-regulate the person who is in front of them and they might not get sucked into their story. How do you have a better space, better backrest so that you're not getting sucked into your client's story? How to create that difference? How does mind body work? More about nervous system. What is orienting, right? That's a very good word, orientation. When you can orient um, yourself into present, that is going to help you stay regulated. That is also going to help your clients. Whatever you're going to learn, you're also going to experiment and use on the clients. You tell them, you empower them, you enable them to orient themselves better. Self-connection. What are the things that you can do for yourself to handle the session better, to handle yourself better? Introduction of inner child, introduction of past life in the first month. I would also be taking a class on psychogenomics of disease. In the second month, we'll be deep diving into inner child work. And in the third month, we'll be deep diving into the past life work. and also ancestral healing through regression therapy. So, yeah, remaining 2 months, I would want to take on the question. I would really want you all to start working as soon as possible. I don't want you to wait for any module to finish to start working with people. You are already, the people who have signed up, they are already into, they're already coaches or healers, therapists. So they will be doing their work. They'll be taking clients live. There might be questions coming up. I would be helping you out of those. I'll be helping you with the business part of it, that how do you um, see your business as a separate entity? How do you connect with your business? How do you connect with your business entity? How do you, um, sometimes talk to your business, and what all can you do for yourself, in yourself, to have a better business outside? So all of this, all the work that we are going to do in the 5 months will be inside. I want you to really connect with yourself, really find what works for you, what is it that you can bring to the table for your clients. I don't want to make 10, 15 Himadris. I want you to integrate regression therapy into whatever healing modality you use. And if you're scared to use any kind of modality that you are good in, I really want you to connect, tap into that power and use it. I want you to tap into different several powers of you and then create something very unique and come out into the world so that you all can be your truest authentic selves and do the work and take it forward. I think I don't know I don't know the time since when I'm talking. What is the time now? Okay. Okay, I'm talking since 50 minutes. Okay. Um, please tell me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help. Uh,
Hi, Himadri.
Hi.
Hi.
It's
May I have a
yes, yes.
question?
Who's talking? Who's
Nisha.
speaking?
Nisha Shetty.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think two, three more people joined, but I just cannot see them on my screen, so I was trying to find them.
Can
Anyways,
you
you
see
ask me.
me on the
Yes,
screen?
yes, I can see. I can see you. Do you want me to pin you also?
I'm okay. No
Spotlight?
worries.
Okay.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
Because past life regression is something new for me. I haven't gone through any past life modality, maybe a card
Okay.
or anything. I want to know whether it is scripted text what we have to follow. There is a protocol. No.
No. There is no scripted text to follow because I think you joined late and I was speaking the same. So first question, several people have that if past life exists and, if really, truly there is a past life, we don't get into that. We will see the elliptical consciousness, the awareness, the oneness, and then we are part of it. All of that is there. But then when we are working with the client, we do not get into these nitty-gritty details. If you are in a session, if you're able to process your emotions, if you're able to integrate something that you have been wanting to, and you have found something, something has shifted inside you, we'll just stay with that. We stay with the client, we help them process whatever they have not been able to process all this while. Now, second thing, you asked that will this be scripted? No, there are no scripts. The simple questions that I'm asking you, that how does that make you feel? Or there are several mm, there are several processes how to induce the session or move ahead with the session. The simplest one you will be using is outside the door. Outside the door is that personality that you want to meet. Outside the door is that inner child that you want to meet. It's called personification. So outside the door is that past life that is truly holding on to that power that you truly want right now. And now the client goes ahead. You just have to follow them. You keep following the client. So, what do you see? What do you do? How does that make you feel? What were your dying thoughts? How were you born? Were you welcome in this life? Um, did you love someone? Did you have a friend? And they keep, it's like, um, they are looking at everything from a bird's eye view, and you're just asking them questions. You are just being the detective who is very curious about this person's life and this person's past life. You just have to keep at that curiosity. That's all. You can ask as many questions. There are few important questions that you need to ask. You need to ask, what were your dying thoughts? How were you born? What was the most important moment of this life? What did you decide? These are few important questions that you get to ask. Otherwise, it's just an exploratory process, and you go ahead with your curiosity.
Okay.
Purpose is the client finds different things. The client, they, uh, feel different things. They process something. They might say, oh, that person, I think I might have the same kind of person in this life. His eyes remind me of someone. Um, there was a past life session I recently did. Now, this client had a lot of experience. So she had done a lot of family constellation, inner child, all those kind of sessions. And now she's taking the past life ones. This was a very long past life. This was done in 2 days. First time she saw her past life, and there at a 13 years of age, she felt that her life has ended. There is nothing good about this life. So, and then it's like going on, the life just moves on and she dies at 80 years. These kind of lives are called hangover past lives. When somewhere you have died very before, but the main death happens kind of 80 years later. So these are the people who will tell you when they come for a session, right? They will be someone जिनके साथ आपने बहुत काम किया होगा, बहुत सारे sessions किए होंगे, and then they'll tell you, you know what, Himadri, आप जो भी कर रहे हो ना, it's helping, it helps, but there is this there is this pain, there is this heaviness that I just cannot seem to shake off from your body. That is the hangover past life. So this female, now she gets married, and she gives birth to a girl child, and that girl child was killed. Then a lot of things happened. This client, before her first session, was, Himadri, I'm really scared. What if someday something happens to me or something happens to my child? I'm really scared that my child might die. And she's a small little girl. Now, in this past life, I ask her, is it your daughter? Do you find any resemblance with your daughter in your current life? And she tells me, it could be, but I don't know. नहीं लग रहा है. पूरा session खत्म हुआ. Next day वाला भी. Then again, when everything was done, I asked her, now tell me, um, what is it your past life? Is it truly your past life? And she tells me, oh my God, Himadri. I said, okay, what happened? She tells me, Himadri, this is not my past life. This was my mother's past life. And she had absorbed this in her womb. So, and in that past life, she promised her mother that, I will always take care of you. It's okay. You forget. I will take care of you. And in this life, she's a highly parentified child. Her mother went through abuse. Her mother went through a lot of things. And my client would always, be standing with the mother in the place of her husband. And then she has problems with her husband in this life. So it's very entangled, it's very complicated, but you keep on taking out one thread at a time, and you get to the gist of it. Now, how does my client feel after this? She feels she had a huge catharsis, right? She had a huge catharsis. It felt like everything she was doing, this was the crux of it. And then she went ahead with that peace in her mind, peace in her space. Now, we don't go back, we don't analyze that if this past life existed, if this was true, if this did not happen. It is with what she feels right now. She feels integrated. She feels fine. She feels now that, she has a different life from her mother. And that is all that we want. That is all that we need.
Got it. I have two more questions for clarity.
Yes.
One is, I got it when we had one-on-one call. We were on a
Yes.
clarity call that it is
Yes.
not hypnotism.
No,
So
no.
what is the source that we connect to? Because when I have done theta, I know that I connect to the theta source, and that's how we start working. So here, is there any particular source where we get connected or we take our client and then we start working?
No, no. The client is already in the trance of their problem. You don't have to take them. Like we have done the one-to-one clarity, right? I don't have
Yes.
to take you anywhere. I just need to ask you certain questions and you'll go to that inner child, you go to that moment, and you will find the reason, the root cause of why um, you're having these things in your life right now. For
Okay.
example, somebody saying that they cannot show up very well in their professional life because of some fear of judgment. I might ask them that, where is it? What happens when you show up in front of your clients? What happens in your body? Where is it? I locate that in your body. I will ask you, when was the first time you felt it as this person? That is, the client will be going back to their inner child. And if I ask, when was the first time you felt this? Uh, just when was the first time ever that you felt it? You will find your past life. It
Okay.
might feel a bit difficult for few people to go into their past lives quickly. They might then do more of inner child. And sometimes people don't need that much of inner child. They straight away go to the past life. So it depends. Whatever the client uh, wherever the client is at this moment, I'll
Got it.
be with them at that place. I will not be saying, I will not be shaming them that, listen, you need to try hard, you cannot go to your past life. Fine, they're not going to past life. I'll talk to them in an inner child moment. Whatever I'll talk, whatever questions I'm asking, they're already regressing back to that moment. Like, listen to this video from the starting. A very basic question. If I ask that, what did you have in your dinner yesterday? The moment I ask this, you are going to remember, okay, what did I have? If it was a special dinner, if you were out, you will remember the people you were out with. So that is how the regression has already started happening. Suppose you're moving, you're just crossing a street. So, okay, this used to happen with me. I used to love cigarette smoke a lot. I just used to love it. So I would wonder, why do I love it so much? Why does it happen? I would instinctively um, take that route, which was smokers wala route in our office, because I loved it. So every time I would smell it, I would remember my father. So the moment I would inhale it, I would feel very safe. I would feel very comfortable, and that would remind me of my father. Whenever, um, whenever you cross a bakery shop, right? And you smell a very different kind, maybe a different kind of patties, and you are already regressing back to that moment when you had patties, when there was a nice, um, nice, comfortable, happy moment. And same happens with traumatic memories also.
Okay.
Something could be so good, and it might remind you something of a difficult moment. Sometimes people say, um, it used to happen with me. White mask. I would feel I would feel very bad if somebody used white mask. मुझे migraine होने लगता था. And I would go back to my past life, and there the person who killed me several times in different lifetimes, that was a perpetrator in my life. And I connected that smell with this person. The moment I did those sessions, actually, in my current life, I was traveling in a flight, and the person with me was using a Jovan white mask. I was a little uncomfortable, but I did not have migraine. I survived it, and now I'm okay with it. I am sensitive with very strong smells, but I handled it. It became better. So
Got it.
all of that does happen. In our class, we would be learning about drama triangle. That's a very important thing. How at certain points in our life, we get entangled into this drama, either being a perpetrator or being a victim or being a rescuer. Mostly therapists or healers, they come into this work as being the rescuers, and then they understand that how they need to exit this drama triangle and not be the rescuers. But somewhere it starts, I think, with that feeling, right? That I can do it, I will rescue everyone if I can.
I resonate with it because sometimes I do have this thought that whether I'm doing this,
Yes,
But yes, so one is this part where you reach to a root cause, where
yes,
it started. And then
yes.
the part is where the healing takes place and you just banish those memories, or
Hmm.
maybe, what exactly
We
we
don't
do in
banish
this.
those memories. We don't banish those memories. Um, I was sharing this example of a confused girl who would say that I get very confused. And she went
Hmm.
back to the moment where she was 6 years old. She was lying down and her uncle was touching her at places. She was being molested. Um, so now it's not about banishing anything. We cannot banish anything, but that confusion is a coping mechanism of that 6 year old in order to survive. Something happening to them, which is so difficult to decipher, to feel. Imagine a 6 year old actually feeling it. What is she going to feel? So she's going to be confused, like, this is not right. I don't think this is fine. I don't know why my body is feeling so. I don't know what is happening. And in this moment, she is dissociating. She's trying to not connect with what is happening in the body because that is how she saves herself. But this coping mechanism becomes a problem when um, this becomes our inner language. This becomes how we operate daily. So a person, an adult, if they read a book, they should be able to understand it. But then while reading, the person says, I get confused. I keep getting confused. I keep getting confused. So when the person is reading this book, there might be few statements that are difficult to understand. Whatever is difficult to understand, how do you cope up with it? I get confused. What was so difficult to understand? The abuse was difficult to understand. That molestation was difficult to understand. How did you cope up with it? By telling myself that I am confused. I don't know. So when this person is looking at everything, right? She's not only looking at it from a distance, she's also feeling it. And while she's feeling it, certain things in the body are opening up. That
Hmm.
okay, that awareness comes up. So the person does not banish anything. They become more aware that that was then, this is now. That was a 6 year old. I am a 30-year-old. I can understand something. And if I don't understand something, I can read it again or I can ask my friend or colleague about it. It does not define anything about me.
So basically, we are just getting them to a state of awareness
Yes.
and give them a security and a feeling that that was then and this is now. And now you are
Yeah.
safe. You can protect yourself.
Yes. You
And
become
that's
the
it.
adult that you are. Yes. You become the adult that you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
So
nothing
you're
else
not going to
healing.
banish, you're not
We're
going to
not
do anything.
healing. Yeah, we're not
No, you're not going
transmuting. We're
to
not
send,
healing.
no, you're not going to send any light to that part.
Okay.
You are going to empower the client. If the client, suppose if the client is a Reiki healer, right? And they are going through these things and they say, I feel something like this. I want to give some kind of light to that moment. So you give light to that younger part of you. You heal that younger part of you and you become the adult and you tell that child that, listen, I am the 30-year-old now. Whatever happened, it was very bad. I know you chose few things to cope up. Those helped you survive. But now we can let it go. You are my responsibility right now. Sometimes people get in this cycle, my mother did not come, my father did not come. We do not um, remove that. Yes, your parents did not come. And then what is it that I can do for you right now? What is it that I can make you feel? And in that space, sometimes calling the parents and having an interaction, having a conversation with them that, listen, आपको आना चाहिए था. आपने मेरी बात क्यों नहीं मानी? आपने क्यों नहीं सुना? The moment you speak up, the moment you are expressing all that, it kind of feels like it feels a release that, okay, I did it.
Yes.
I said it. I spoke about it. And in energy, in energetic terms, it does happen. And sometimes it's very sudden. The client speaking about themselves with their mother, and the mother after 1 day or 2 day calls them and tells you that, listen, how are you? And client tells me, she was talking so well out of a sudden. So it is, it's working on how you change your inner picture, right? How you are changing your inner landscape, looking at someone and thinking that this person is going to do me harm because of your perceived reality, because he is using the same perfume that my abuser used. Those are the memories which are coming up. Those are the instances which are coming up in your middle brain, right? It is alarming your body. It is alarming that HP axis, that red code, red code, red code, red code. And your survival brain is going to either like run away or freeze or do something. But your adult, your frontal lobe is not going to take action. It won't be able to take that action कि मैं कैसे करूं, मैं अभी ऐसे कैसे कर सकता हूँ, ये तो सारा बंद हो गया, क्योंकि जहां वो डेंजर आया, sometimes, what sometimes, not sometimes, body is sensing things. Like right now also, when you are all sitting here, if I am nervous, if I'm scared, if I'm not feeling good, you all can sense that, right? You all can sense that. And we as healers, empaths, therapists, we are to going to understand only. हमें तो पता चलेगा ही चलेगा. So,
Correct.
yes,
Got it. My last question.
yes,
When we say inner child work or we say past life work,
yes,
and we understand that whatever we are today is a reflection of whatever we have gone through, our beliefs, our patterns. So,
yes.
is it only, uh, I mean, even my experiences today or my experiences 10 years back are counted as my inner child
Inner
or my
child.
pattern? It is, right? It's
Yes.
not only that 0 to 7,
No,
which
no,
is
no. No, no. 0 to 7 is kind of very, how do I say, very early, as in when a child is born, right? We do not say there is no mother and child separate. So child's nervous system starts developing when they are in the mother's womb, and that is not completely developed. So when the child comes outside, it is still developing with the mother. All the time that Wi-Fi is being set, all the time they're learning to co-regulate with a regulated adult. That's why it is said now that, mother, you take care, you do this, you do this. Thing is, the child, it is absorbing, it is in that connection. When the child is taking the first meal, when the child is filling their body up, that is all that first experience happening in child's life. So that is developing, and that is going to be there with a deeper impact than an 18-year-old person, because when they are 18 or 28, that I think that's when their prefrontal cortex has developed. The frontal lobe is completely developed. उसके पहले वो develop नहीं है. So उसके पहले जो भी चीजें आ रही है ना, they don't have a filter. वो सीधा अंदर आ रही है. एक बार 18 हो जाता है ना, तो वो फिल्टर, एक बार 13 हुआ, 13 के ऊपर 18 हुआ, then they have that filter. They have filter now around them to understand it. Listen, this is important and this is I can let go. Uske pehle, everything is important. Everything is going inside. So imagine, so whenever we are doing the inner child work, there is an initial sensitizing moment, there is a worst time, and there is a current time. Latest, right? Uh, we always go to the first. If we can go to that first moment, we'll be able to understand the first time this person had the coping, created this limiting belief, and what happened. Why did it happen? Our focus is there. बट जब आप सेशन करना नया नया शुरू करोगे, हो सकता है कि आपका आपका क्लाइंट मोस्टली विल बी कमिंग फ्रॉम अ करंट एक्सपीरियंस, तो वो करंट में ही खोया होगा. उसको आप और पीछे ले जाओगे तो वो वर्स में आएगा. फिर धीरे 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 और पीछे पीछे करते जाओगे, देन दे विल कम टू देयर फर्स्ट मोमेंट. सो विद एक्सपीरियंस यू लर्न दैट यू कैन डायरेक्टली गो टू दैट फर्स्ट एक्सपीरियंस, वो भी आ जाता है. सो यू create that picture inside the body, right? You create that picture in the awareness, the process that now the child has learned that okay, I am seen, I can be taken care of. It is, everything is happening in your body itself. बॉडी में ही अलग अलग चीजें हो रही हैं, बॉडी में ही आप अलग अलग चीजें इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हो, और यू आर गेटिंग मोर एंड मोर प्रेजेंट इन योर बॉडी. मोर एंड मोर प्रेजेंट मतलब मोर एंड मोर एडल्ट एज योर सेल्फ सिटिंग हियर. कल को आपको कोई चीज करनी होगी, आप कुछ प्रोसेस कर रहे होगे एंड सामने वाला कोई क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, या आई एम टेकिंग योर एग्जांपल, इफ सामने वाले को इस चीज की जरूरत है, you will be the adult to decide that listen, this is what I want to do, this I can do, I will help this client at this moment, I don't care about anything else. You are the adult. But when you are thinking that I don't know about this modality, should I use it, should I not use it, क्या होगा, there is that alert, there is that middle brain popping at you. मत करना निशा, ऐसा नहीं करना, वो पता था वो क्या हुआ था, वो पता था क्या हुआ था. एंड उसके भी पीछे there will be a wounded child, there will be another child who's there. We need to connect to that child in order to be aware कि आप वो जो दोनों चाइल्ड हैं, अंदर का इनर पेरेंट और एक wounded चाइल्ड, उसको आप शांत करवा के यू कैन बी द एडल्ट एंड यू कैन लिसन. आई नो, आई अंडरस्टैंड वट एवर यू आर गोइंग थ्रू, लेट मी जस्ट डू दिस सेशन एंड देन आई कम बैक टू. जैसे अपने बच्चे को समझाते हैं, अभी मम्मा ये काम करेगी, बाद में आके तुमसे बात करती है. दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस.
Thank you for
मोस्ट वेलकम.
solving all my query. I had so many questions in regard.
इट्स परफेक्टली ओके. ओके, एनीबडी एल्स, डू यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन? केतकी.
एक्चुअली मालूम नहीं ये क्वेश्चन कितना ये है, क्योंकि पास्ट लाइफ रिग्रेशन के बारे में मैंने बहुत अलग अलग भी बहुत कुछ चीजें सुनी थी.
हम्म.
लाइक मीन्स वो यहाँ पे बनारस एंड वहां पे जाके भी बहुत सारे लोग, दैट इज डिफरेंट और दिस इज डिफरेंट, और वो क्या है फिर?
मुझे नहीं पता, आप बताओ आपने क्या सुना है.
मीन्स लाइक मतलब मेरे दो तीन फ्रेंड्स हैं, उन्होंने ना
ओके.
काशी या फिर वहां पे जाके, उन्होंने वहां पे जाके पास्ट लाइफ रिग्रेशन किया है. और वो टाइम से ना मुझे वो रिग्रेशन मीन्स मुझे बहुत इतना डर लगता था कि नहीं बाबा कुछ पता चलेगा तो हैंडल नहीं कर पाएंगे तो क्या होगा,
हाँ.
मीन्स वो वाला था. और दैट माय फ्रेंड वाज वेरी हैप्पी कि
ओके.
मेरा काफी कुछ चेंज हो गया. मैंने बोला किससे करवाया ये क्या, तो
अच्छा.
उसने कुछ अजीब चीजें भी बोली बहुत टाइम. तो आई डोंट नो, मे बी आई थिंक फिर मतलब वो अलग है शायद और दिस इज टोटली डिफरेंट. मीन्स
हम्म.
मेरे दिमाग में पास्ट लाइफ मैंने भी फर्स्ट जैसे निशा का है ना, फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने कुछ क्लैरिटी आया है अभी मेरे
इट डिपेंड्स,
दिमाग
सी,
में कि
जो मैं आपको उस दिन भी बता रही थी ना, इट डिपेंड्स अ लॉट on the on the person who is facilitating, on the people who are in the
राइट,
group and how it is being facilitated.
करेक्ट,
uh, it's nothing to be scared of, it's nothing to be, ऐसा कुछ नहीं आएगा जो आप हैंडल नहीं कर पाओगे. कि जो भी आएगा, जो भी आप एक्सेप्ट करोगे, जो भी आप इंटीग्रेट करोगे, वो आपके इस बॉडी में आएगा ना. सो दे विल ऑलवेज बी अ फिल्टर. आपके इस बॉडी का हमेशा फिल्टर रहेगा, हमेशा आप उस चीज को देख पाओगे, उस चीज को ले पाओगे, कर पाओगे. एंड देर आर फ्यू पीपल हु डू क्रिएट वेरी लॉस ऑफ फियर एंड स्केयर. कई बार लोग कहते हैं कि ऐसा कुछ आ जाएगा, उससे मेरा लाइफ, मतलब वो एक इंटेंशनली मुझे भुलाया गया है, और ऐसा कुछ आ जाएगा जो मैं इसको हैंडल नहीं कर पाऊंगी. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं आएगा. इमोशंस आएंगे ऊपर, फीलिंग्स आएंगी ऊपर. हो सकता है आप एक दिन आपको बहुत दुख फील हो, बहुत सैड लगे, बट एक दिन, दो दिन, तीन दिन, वो धीरे 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 कम होके निकल जाएगा. एंड देन यू माइट फील कि ओ नाउ आई एम एबल टू डू दिस अलग तरीके से, अब मुझे कुछ अलग चीज भी फील हो रही है. किसी का, अगर आपने पास्ट लाइफ देखा एंड दे डाइड व्हेन दे वर 5 year old इन देयर पास्ट लाइफ, ठीक है, नाउ इट फील्स वेरी हेवी टू देम कि कैसे गया, क्या हुआ. बट ड्यूरिंग दैट पास्ट लाइफ प्रोसेस, जब सब कुछ हील किया, जब इंटीग्रेट किया, तो वो 5 year old का एक इनोसेंस और एक क्रिएटिविटी भी इंक्लूड किया था. सो एवरीथिंग, एवरीथिंग हैज द गुड एंड बैड देर. सो गोइंग बैक टू दिस, मुझे एक बात याद आई निशा की. Two things can be right. You might feel ये ना ऐसे ही आता है, अभी ऐसे करेंगे तो दिल आएगा, छोड़ो. Two things can be right. You might feel scared, but you also might um, feel expanded, right? So this person, उन्होंने देखा और इंटीग्रेट किया वो क्रिएटिविटी, वो इनोसेंस एक छोटे बच्चे का। नाउ दुख है कि यार इतना छोटी थी, ऐसा हो गया मेरे साथ, वो चला। But something they are processing, something they are processing, and 2 3 दिन बाद they're also able to see the creativity in their work. They're able to see that fun in their work as well. I will give you an example. I had a past life, right? मेरे past life में I was a I was a boy. I was a very young boy, and I was a painter, and I was living with my uncle. So now this uncle, my parents gave away me to this uncle at a very young age. And my uncle, he would sell my paintings under his name. And I was given very basics. I felt very abused. I did not like that place, but it was like I'm just surviving. And I would look at things and feel कि मुझे ना कुछ um, अपने मन का करना है, पर मैं कभी कर नहीं पाती हूँ। देन वंस आई डिसाइड कि मैं अपने मन का करूंगी, एंड मैंने कोई तो एक बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी ली, उसमें बिल्डिंग पे पेंट करना था। मैं बिल्डिंग पे चढ़ी, और जब मैं पेंट कर रही थी आई वॉज वेरी हैप्पी। और कुछ तो हुआ और मैं गिर गई, और मैं गिरी और नीचे गिट्टी को क्या कहते हैं, वो छोटा वाला स्टोन दैट इज यूज टू मेक रोड, वो जल रहा था और मैं उसमें गिरी। तो आई कुड रिमेम्बर द पेन दैट आई फेल्ट इन माई बॉडी। जब मैं सेशन से बाहर निकली तो मुझे पेन पता चल रहा था। एंड माई डाइंग थॉट्स वर आई शुड नॉट हैव गॉन अप, मुझे ऊपर नहीं जाना चाहिए था। एंड ऑल्सो जब मैं ऊपर थी तो लोग मुझे देख रहे थे। इन दिस करेंट लाइफ व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग एज अ टेक्निकल राइटर, मैंने अपने थेरेपिस्ट को बोला कि मेरा जॉब अच्छा है, मैं बहुत अच्छे से काम करती हूँ, बट मुझे कभी कोई अवार्ड नहीं मिलता, मुझे कोई देखता ही नहीं है। सो ही सेड क्यों नहीं करते हो, तो आप लिखो, बताओ अपने बारे में, अप्लाई फॉर दोज अवार्ड्स। एंड आई सेड कि नहीं, मैं नहीं बता पाऊंगी, मैं कैसे बताऊं, क्या करूं। तो जो भी बॉडी से कनेक्ट करके फिर मैं इस पास्ट लाइफ में गई, एंड वहां ऐसा हुआ। तो मेरे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में दैट इज द फियर, आई शुड नॉट हैव गॉन अप, पीपल विल सी मी एंड आई विल डाई। When after this session I could come out, I was able to see that that was a past life, that was something which was there, that I felt while dying, and I had created that thought. And यहाँ पे भी वो वही fear था कि जब मैं ऊपर जाऊंगी, मैं बोलूंगी मुझे अवार्ड मिलेगा, मैं ऊपर जाऊंगी, मुझे लोग देखेंगे, तो I might die. After that session, I applied for the award. I got Employee of the Month, Employee of the Year. I got so many awards in those 3 months. मतलब मेरे लिए बिल्कुल ऐसा था कि मेरी पूरी लाइफ बदल गई। इतने लोगों ने देखा, इतना अच्छा लगा। सो जब आई उस सेशन के बाद दर्द हुआ, ऐसे ना बॉडी में फील हो रहा था वो पेन, पर फिर चला गया। 1 दिन 2 दिन चला गया। कई बार लोगों को थोड़ा फीवर भी आ सकता है, पर चला जाता है। इट मूव्स, इट गोज अवे, बिकॉज ये बॉडी में इंटीग्रेट हो रहा है ना, कोई नई चीज इंटीग्रेट भी तो हो रही है, कोई चीज। सो इट वर्कड। एंड जब भी हम पास्ट लाइफ पूछते हैं, जब भी हम पास्ट लाइफ का करते हैं, तो उसके साथ एक इनर चाइल्ड मोमेंट भी कई बार कनेक्टेड होता है। या जस्ट अ मोमेंट नेहा। सो अंदर भी एक मोमेंट कनेक्ट होता है इनर चाइल्ड का। वी गो टू दैट इनर चाइल्ड ऑल्सो, एंड वी फाइंड आउट कि व्हाट वाज दैट मोमेंट व्हेन दिस पास्ट लाइफ वाज एक्टिवेटेड फॉर। सो आई व्हेन आई वाज स्मॉल, आई वुड नेवर आई वुड नेवर बी सीन। जब भी मैं कुछ कोशिश करती थी आगे आने की, एक बार शायद मैम ने मुझे मौका भी दिया करने का, एंड देन ऑल द किड्स स्टार्टेड लाफिंग एट मी। ऑल द किड्स, they made some or the other comment, I don't know what happened, and that brought a lot of embarrassment. So at that point, I it felt like that aura break. जब ऐसा aura break होता है, there is a point जहाँ पे past life ऊपर आता है, right? नहीं तो shrink होता है, वहां पे inner child आपका और अंदर कहीं body में जाता है। So that is the complete thing. हमने past life देखी, हमने inner child देखा, फिर हमने अपने past में हमने उसको present में implement किया, and we saw the change in our life, change in my life. So yeah. इसको फैसिलिटेटर पे डिपेंड करता है. यू कैन मेक इट एज ड्रामेटिक और यू कैन मेक इट एज टू द पॉइंट एंड क्रिस्टल क्लियर.
एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन.
हाँ.
यहाँ पे जब भी क्लाइंट के साथ या फिर
हम्म.
अपने साथ भी कोई एक पैटर्न रिपीट होता है,
हम्म.
वो चीटिंग का हो या फिर लॉस ऑफ मनी,
हम्म.
फियर ऑफ फेलियर, ये जो
हम्म.
रिपीट, मतलब हाँ मुझे मालूम था ये ऐसा ही होने वाला है,
हम्म.
और दैट थिंग हैपन,
हम्म.
मीन्स वैसे ही होता है,
हम्म.
तो वो सारी चीजें भी हम वहां से हील कर
हाँ.
सकते हैं.
हाँ, तो वो देखेगा ना कि उसने क्या थॉट था. अगर चीटिंग का था कि मेरे साथ यही हमेशा होता है. कई बार कैसा होता है, वन ऑफ माय क्लाइंट्स, हैड शी वाज गोइंग थ्रू अ डिवोर्स एंड शी सेड कि मैं कितना चाहती हूँ सेपरेट होना, बट ना हो नहीं पा रहा है मेरा, एंड मुझे बहुत खराब लगता है. सो वी वेंट शी वेंट टू हर पास्ट लाइफ. शी वाज वन पर्सन हु डायरेक्टली वेंट टू हर पास्ट लाइफ विदाउट डूइंग एनी चाइल्ड. तो उन्होंने पास्ट लाइफ में देखा देयर वाज द सेम मैन एंड उन्होंने उसको धोखा दिया था. एंड शी सेड दैट कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि उन्होंने फिर शी द बॉय द मैन वाज पुट इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल एंड ही वाज किल्ड और समथिंग लाइक दैट. एंड शी सेड whenever you do this with me, I'll make sure I do this to you. So हम जब ये चीज करते हैं ना, इसको कहते हैं always or forever. When we use terms as whenever, always and forever, it is क्या बोलते हैं उसको, नाम नहीं याद आ रहा मुझे. मतलब आप एक तरीके से जो कार्मिक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्लियरिंग होता है अलग से, आप ये बॉन्ड आप इसको बांध रहे हो. So when she goes back to that past life, she looks at everything and then she again goes back to same moment and says that, whatever you did, you got it, and whatever I did, I got it. And we separate. आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. सो ये करने से, ये जो हम कामिक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्लियरिंग करवाते हैं, कई बार होता है ना कि हम कामिक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करवा रहे हैं, पूजा करवा रहे हैं, आकाशिक में देख रहे हैं. सो जब हम पास्ट लाइफ करते हैं, तो ये हम उसको फील करके, वी गो बैक टू दैट टाइम, वी कैन फील एंड देन वी कैन डिस्कनेक्ट. और वो उसका रिजल्ट भी बहुत वैसा अच्छा आता है. मुझे वर्ड ही नहीं आता रहा. फॉर
टिट
एवर.
फॉर टैट.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, फॉर एवर एंड ऑलवेज जब भी यूज करते हैं उसका एक वर्ड है, उसको क्या कहते हैं, आई रिमेम्बर एंड मैसेज. ठीक है. ओके. मोस्ट
थैंक यू.
वेलकम. या. यस नेहा.
Hi, Madhuri.
रखने दो. यस,
So
हाय.
actually, I don't have any doubts, as you know already. But what I wanted to say to others like Ketki and Nisha is that past life कर रहे हैं वो हमें पता है. But I have taken 14, 15 sessions from Himadri, okay? But I have never got a past life session done. And when I asked her to do it, I got a hint अंदर से कि यार छोड़ अब मुझे नहीं करना. So even though a few sessions were pending, I said, Himadri, now I have got enough from you. I will not go any further. So मतलब जैसे हिमाद्री said ना कि आप इनर चाइल्ड पे आकर भी आप वहां पे स्टॉप हो सकते हो. अगर क्लाइंट बहुत ही इंक्विजिटिव है तो आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट as when we will experience it तो हम समझ जाएंगे what does the
इट
client
डिपेंड्स.
want या
समटाइम्स ना, इट डिपेंड्स. लोग अपने आप पास्ट लाइफ में जाते हैं, समटाइम्स पास्ट लाइफ का वर्क भी होता है. जैसे आपके साथ किया था नेहा, वी डिड दैट आकाशिक. उस समय आई वाज
yes
एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग दिस. तो आप भी जा
okay
रहे थे. सो दो पीपल समटाइम्स डोंट गो डायरेक्टली टू देयर आकाशिक. तो मैं
अच्छा
आकाशिक कराने की जगह, मतलब मैं कोई चीज देख के बताऊंगी, उसकी जगह आई मेक पीपल गो टू देयर आकाशिक रिकॉर्ड्स. तो ये भी करते, मतलब ये दिस इज एंटायरली माय ओन वे, आई हैव नॉट लर्नड इट. तो मुझे पता नहीं था कि ऐसा
right
भी कर सकते हैं. मैं आपको पास्ट लाइफ में ही ले जा रही थी, लेकिन फिर आप जाते गए तो आप अपने रिकॉर्ड में चले गए. सो दिस ऑल्सो आंसर्स टू निशाज क्वेश्चन, राइट. मतलब आप कहीं जा रहे थे, मैं आपको कहीं ले गई. आपने फिर जो देखा, मैंने आपको खाली गाइड किया, अब क्या देख रहे हो, अब क्या
right
कर रहे हो. सो एज अ थेरेपिस्ट आई नीड टू रिमेम्बर क्वेश्चंस. कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं जो मुझे चाहिए कि आप ये जरूर देख कर आना. तो मैं आपको खाली वो क्वेश्चंस याद दिलाऊंगी. बाकी आप अपनी बहुत सारी चीजें देखोगे. बहुत कई बार सेशन खत्म होने के बाद वो अवेयरनेस आती रहती है, फिर एकदम से लगता है, अरे मालूम वो देखा था, वो हुआ था. एंड इट हैपेंस विद इनर चाइल्ड ऑल्सो. जब पहली बार किसी का इनर चाइल्ड होता है, टेल देम दैट लिसन, there might be a lot of other memories also coming to you. but it's okay. Let it come and see how you move ahead in those. Note them down. इसलिए journaling सिखाते हैं, इसलिए EFT सिखाते हैं कि सेशन के इन बिटवीन आप उस चीज को कैसे हैंडल कर पाओगे। आप लोग भी जब अपने क्लाइंट्स के साथ डील करोगे तो आप भी अंदर कुछ ना कुछ आप उनको बताओगे, यू नो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन कनेक्ट विद योरसेल्फ, ये आप अपने लिए कर सकते हो, ये आप अपने लिए हैंडल कर सकते हो, तो ये सारी चीजें वैसे हो जाएंगी।
एंड केतकी जो आप बोल रहे हो ना वो बनारस वाला, आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग, जो भी वहां पे पंडे होते हैं वो पूरे रिकॉर्ड्स वगैरह रख के देते हैं ना, तो आई डोंट नो, मतलब मैंने तो कभी नहीं आई नो इट ऐसा होता है, बिकॉज
मैं
आई
तो बनारस
लॉस्ट
की
माई
हूँ, मुझे
ग्रैंड
नहीं
मदर,
पता ये कहाँ
आई
होता है,
आई
मुझे भी
लॉस्ट आई
करवाना
लॉस्ट
है।
माई आई लॉस्ट माई ग्रैंड मदर। तो मेरे पेरेंट्स मतलब जैसे सब लोग गए थे वो अस्थियां वगैरह करने, तो वहां पे वो लोग मिले थे उनसे हरिद्वार में, पंडों से जिनके पास रिकॉर्ड होता है कि कौन कौन सी जनरेशन के लोग आए थे वहां पे, बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज डूइंग दैट। बट ऐसा कुछ डराने वाला नहीं। आई थिंक सम पीपल हैव दिस हैबिट ऑफ हाइपिंग थिंग्स,
वो
बट
मैंने
आई
बोला
हैव
ना,
टेकन
द
सेशंस फ्रॉम हिमाद्री।
फैसिलिटेटर, जो फैसिलिटेटर
हाँ।
होता है उस पर बहुत डिपेंड होता है कि कई बार ना कुछ फैसिलिटेटर डराते भी हैं कुछ चीजें का, जैसे आई थिंक व्हेन वी वर
फियर
स्मॉल
मॉन्गरिंग।
देयर वाज अ सीरियल दैट वी यूज्ड टू वॉच, राइट, कहानी समथिंग, जिसमें वो
कहीं
पास्ट
किसी
लाइफ
रोज,
में, नहीं कहीं
पता
किसी
नहीं।
रोज नहीं, वो पास्ट लाइफ पे था, उसपे हिप्नोटाइज करते थे और उसपे दिखाते थे, वो हीरो था उसमें फेवरेट, फेमस नॉट फेवरेट, एंड देन दे वुड, जो लापतागंज में पुलिस वाला है वो करवाता था, एंड देन उसमें दे यूज्ड टू से अब क्या दिख रहा है, अब कहाँ दिख रहा है, अब क्या हुआ
तो
है।
ऐसा
Dic- but sometimes you might see places also like this past life that I have mentioned. I feel now एक ना आपके दिमाग में मेमोरी रह जाती है, देर आर द समटाइम्स यू ट्राई टू फॉलो इट कि वो कहाँ है कहाँ है कहाँ है, बट अगर आप उसको कहाँ है कहाँ है कहाँ है ढूंढते रहोगे तो आपका एंड रिजल्ट क्या है, आपको क्या चाहिए। आपको अगर रेजोल्यूशन मिल गया, आप अपनी जिस चीज में डर रहे थे वो आपने काम कर लिया, that's it. That's all. You don't need anything else. But you are open to possibilities. Sometimes you might see that place also. For me, that place जो मैं ऊपर पेंट करी थी, I remember it, and it could be in this south of France. और मुझे भी लेटेस्ट उसकी ये मिली है फोटो, थ्रू इंस्टाग्राम किसी का देख रहे थे, आजकल बहुत लोग जा रहे हैं साउथ फ्रांस में, कैंस में। इट फेल्ट लाइक दिस इज दैट प्लेस, ये this is that place where I was there, you know, where I died in bits and pieces. Now I cannot find it. I I will not go and find the name and all, but कई बार लोगों को वो भी मिलता है, मिल जाता है, but our focus is not that. So this is the difference. This is the difference between facilitators. Our focus is not that. Our focus is आपके client को resolution मिला, आपका client जो करना चाहता था वो कर पाया, आपको resolution मिला, आपको जो करना था आप कर पाए, that's it. End of discussion. उसमें हम पीछे जाके आके क्या करेंगे, क्योंकि हम एक लेवल तक पीछे देखेंगे बट हमें आगे भी तो बढ़ना है। रिग्रेशन करते हैं when we regress back to those times and moments where we want to find out the root cause of it, but then we also need to take action, right? So we need to bring it all, we need to integrate ourselves, we need to integrate our body and future pace also, कि अभी ये मैंने सेशन किया, मैंने अपना इनर चाइल्ड देखा, मैंने अपने आप को देखा, सब कुछ ठीक है। नाउ imagine yourself uh, going to that interview next week or maybe 15 days later. How do you act differently then? आप क्या अलग करते हो? And then the client might say, you know, this time I'm sitting with more confidence, this time I'm answering in a better way. Or that client जिसका मैं example दे रही थी rest वाला थे, she might say that, you know, I'm feeling very nice, taking an off, I'm going to a vacation. This is like that positive, what is that word? Something positive
Growth
also.
thoughts.
Yeah, some kind of NLP is also happening. So now you are able to see the future also. So हमारा काम है past में देखा, integrate किया, आगे बढ़े, ठीक है? और then understanding that all these things are inside our body. So we are the adult. We need to take care of inner child. We need to take care of our inner parent, the critical parent, and then as an adult, what is it that you want to do right now? What is it that you want to act as right now? And then you do that. all the therapy, the base of all kind of therapy is that this only. हम present में कैसे रहेंगे, हम present में कैसे action लेंगे, so that we are doing better in our future. That's it. अब इसके लिए जो भी तरीका लगे, जो भी जैसा भी. हाँ, ठीक है. I'll also remove this. So I have recorded it. I will be sharing it. Okay, somebody messaged. Sorry, I did not see. Sorry, Neha, I did not see your messages पहले. इसमें ही आ रहे थे. ठीक है then.
It's okay.
Okay then, if there is anything else you need to ask, let me know. I'll be replying and I'll be closing the registrations next week. So let me know. ठीक है? You all know about the क्या कहते हैं उसको? EMIs and the payment, everything. ठीक है? चलो, take care. Bye.
Thank you, Himadri. Thank you for your time.
Most
Bye.
Thank you
welcome. It was
so
great
much. Good
talking.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.